Oh, hi and hello everyone. Hope y'all doing well. It's time for an album review of this newest album by Chance the Rapper, Starline. Now, this is his most anticipated album yet after seeing some pushback dates and having a 6-year hiatus up to this point. If you've been living under a rock or haven't done some digging when it comes to the world of hip hop, you would probably know that way back in 2019, he did release The Big Day, which at the time, you know how awful the reception was for that album. For me personally, I listened to a bit of the album just for the sake of this review, and goddamn, it was kind of bad, or at least terrible, not to the probably not maybe not to the extent of like it being total trash, but it was definitely bad to say the least. And since then, Chance had not made much music outside of like of some singles he had dropped as of late for the sake of this album over here. Now, Chance the Rapper really dates back to like 2012 with 10 Day. Over time, he released Acid Rap and Coloring Book, which made him become like one of the most beloved rappers in the game at that point in the 2010s. Given the fact that he was also from Chicago, had his idol Kanye West on a track with him as well, and of course with him stating that he pretty much finally made it. He of course had to go through a divorce, which at the time it's fine to say the least, but at the time it was pretty more of insult to injury. But with this album over here, I could say that I enjoyed this a bit, definitely more than I anticipated though, really, because after hearing what Acid Rap had to offer, I was hoping to get that too on here, but it seems like we kind of so far removed from that era that I think Chance now needs to get back on his feet to keep a steady pace once more, because even his like probably his most devoted fans by this point kind of gave up on him like pretty much overnight. But of course he did come back, thankfully, with some interviews about where he's been and what this album may entail, as well as him, of course, opening up about the divorce he had with his ex-wife. So yeah, what's the style? What's the aesthetic he's going for? What's the sound of this record? Now, I would say that when I was going through my notes for this, it was definitely a lot more like reflective, looking to himself, like pretty much reflecting on his past, and also at times where he's pretty much healing from like the past relationships that may have scarred him. Yeah, so the Starline intro is pretty much has some dramatic instrumentation with backing vocals. I personally don't know what it wants to be personally most of the time. Like, I don't mind it as a track, but I think there's more to be desired here. Back to the Go with Vic Mensa also has him going from his back to his roots. Burn Your Block for me is pretty much like the biggest like highlight for me on here. Like, very much inspired by elements of hip house and dance hall. The Negro Problem with BJ the Chicago Kid has him diving into like the harsh realities of being a black person in America. No More Old Men has Chance still reflecting on his childhood in Chicago, as the sound of it kind of fits with the rest of the record as a few doesn't on here, which kind of brings me to the track Tree with Lil Wayne and Mino. I'm sure that S is silent again, please forgive me. I'll be honest, Mino is clearly nowhere near interested on the bridge and outro. While I do love how the instrumentation is, it seems like the track overall is basically kind of mid. Like, Chance on his own, I think, kind of holds his own a bit. For me, it's also like the Lil Wayne verse, like especially with his like vocal inflections on it. Like, it's fine. So with Link Me in the Future, it's laced with electronic elements and melodic indie pop. It gives a refreshing change of pace of how the vocals are pretty much layered is where I draw the line at. Like, it's a bit much for me, to say the least. Chance on here takes a bit more of an introspective approach lyrically, diving into uncertainty and tries to challenge his mindset while reminiscing about the times he had with his ex-wife, the slow dances, the memories still haunting him, his homies telling him to ghost her. So this probably could be a reference in the lead up into, you know, the divorce that happened a few years ago. Just a Drop with Jay Electronica has some nice vocalization in the background. It dives into personal growth and nuances of faith. Pretty nice with slow paced hip hop beats with melodic gospel. The highs and the lows with Joey Badass is honestly another highlight for me. The production is very minimalistic, and the lyrics are like pretty much a sole focus, diving into vulnerability and expressing personal struggles. A gun in your purse probably has to be like the most, I guess, in your way, like violent imagery to a degree. Like he pretty much kind of dives into like the dangerous environments he had to like live with back in Chicago. Of course, this track also features Young Thug and Tia Corey, which kind of he uses Young Thug as that guy who pretty much has like street cred. Tia Corey comes in and creates that nice contrast. Speed of Light featuring Leon Babe and BJ Chicago Kid again once more. Still have hip hop roots with some juke drums. Both the production and rapping / singing performances pretty much are like two different worlds. Like I get confused on what the identity of this track is. Pretty has Chance pretty much having like this vocal inflection, kind of reminiscing of his acid rap mixtape days, like almost some shady like to a degree. The beat sounds like it has warm thumps, along with Chance doing some self-reflection again once more, using like a mirror as a way to express that he's been going through some self-love during his hiatus. Absolute worst track on here for me personally, Drapatomania, Baby Chief Doit. And if you remember the XXL freshman class freestyle, you would know that he's been part of that too. I just recently did a reaction of that, and I genuinely thought that shit was trash. While it is led by some nice deep piano keys that skip across the grooves, along with high energy and frantic hip hop beat, it's kind of ironic for me to say that it's like the worst track for me. So much to the point where I do not like it, point blank period. And I think that Big Chief Doit, it's kind of like the draw, if not he's the one that's drawing the line, especially with doing some struggle bars like you gotta fight like a tic-tac-toe. Like it feels very out of touch with the rest of the record. I enjoyed this project, and I think Chance can and will have to prove himself again because of the goddamn hard reset he had with The Big Day. And look, I understand some people are not going to be vibing with this record, as I have seen varyings of opinions across this record. I heard some people say that this is not that good, or this is kind of mixed. Overall, I sort of enjoyed it for the most part. So yeah, I think this is solid. Yeah, B- on this record. So yeah, I will see y'all later. Y'all gonna see me do more videos of these, okay?